Good morning and welcome to VOK'S Talk. My name is VOK. Today we're looking at how to ensure that our children are safe in school, and this is the second episode. For this episode, we're going to be talking about first aid services and fire management system in schools. You agree with me that both subjects are very important subjects because they could either protect our children or endanger their lives depending on how they are handled. First aid is the initial treatment given to someone who suddenly sustains an injury or falls sick. And this is done in order to preserve the person's life, protect the person, and prevent the situation from becoming worse. Therefore, a first aid kit must be well equipped and its personnel well trained. Yes, it must be well equipped. But this is not what we find in most schools. Most schools we go to we find that they have a first aid box, but it's not well equipped. It's not well equipped. Many of them have them there, but when you really take your time to check, you find out that it's not well equipped. And many of us parents do not even bother to check. We just believe that God will protect our children. Of course, God will protect our children, but we have to play our roles too. For parents who even check, they do not know what a standard first aid kit should contain. A standard first aid kit must contain plaster, iodine, spirits, resuscitation masks or face shield, bandages, some essential drugs for body pain relief, for stomach upset, drugs to stop vomiting, drugs for cold and catarrh. Some of these basic drugs, they should have them in the first aid box. And the first aid officer must be trained. The person must be up and doing. The person must check the first aid kit regularly to ensure that the drugs there are not expired. Yes, they may have a first aid manager, they may have drugs, but how are we sure that these drugs are not expired? So when you as a parent, when you go to a school, what do? You just see that they have someone there and you're not bothered. There are certain questions you have to ask. No matter how embarrassing it may seem, you still have to ask some of these questions. How often do you check your drugs? How often do you renew your supply? Some of these things are actually very essential. They are things that we have to look out for. And then again, due to the recent outbreak of communicable diseases, we've been hearing about stories about communicable diseases in different places, when like the time we had Ebola, Lassa fever, many of them. Therefore, the first aid personnel must be continuously oriented on how to identify such illness, how to identify them and take swift action in order to prevent an outbreak of such diseases. Yes, the first aid personnel must be on guard at all times to ensure that the children under your care, the person's care, are kept safe. And aside from first aid kit, I would like us to talk about fire management system in schools. How many of us as parents check the fire management system in school? Every school practicing fire management must have an ROP. An ROP is the responsible person or responsible persons, people who are responsible in ensuring that there is safety in terms of fire outbreak in the school, ensuring that there is fire safety in the school. And this ROP must be well trained. The school must be equipped. The school must have heat and smoke detectors. The school must have extinguishers, whether manual or artificial. Many schools have extinguishers. You just see them there, but they are not functioning. At times, they just put them there to deceive people, to deceive parents. When you walk in and you see an extinguisher, you just believe that, oh, they have an extinguisher, therefore it's working. Some of them are not working. So you should ask questions. Is this thing working? Well, when was the last time you used it? When was the last time you used this extinguisher? Then you should try to find out if they do fire drills. Do they do fire drills whereby teachers and students are involved? Make everybody involved, whether planned or unplanned fire drills. Do they do these things? How well do they monitor the situation around the school, then you should also look at the school environment. The trees around the school must be trimmed, and dirty receptacles should be taken far away from the school to avoid a fire outbreak. How about the exits, the stairways, the windows, the doors? How about them? Find out if they check them regularly to ensure that they are working properly, in order not to be obstructed. They shouldn't be obstructed, so that when there is an issue, people can easily use them as escape routes. Then also ensure that your children know where to convey with other children in case there's an eventuality, because you never can tell. It could happen one day. Yes, I hear you saying God forbid. Yes, God forbid, we don't want it to happen, but we must be prepared. And if you have a child who is physically challenged, please ensure that the school has a separate plan for that child. Yes, there must be a personal evacuation plan for the child, so that just in case it happens, your child wouldn't be left stranded in the school. We must ensure that all of these things are put in place to be sure that our children will be safe in this school. Thank you very much for listening. Please know that our children are our future, and we must do everything to ensure that they are safe. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to VOK'S Talk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You could also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you get notified whenever I post any new video. Thank you so much for listening today. Bye bye.